Hi guys, so I'm going to show you how to do this blue look today using the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette and the Me, Myself and Mitchell palette. I also use the plouise Touch of Frost base and also plouise pigment, but I can't remember the name of it, so I'll tag that below. So I started off by using the darkest colour in the Jawbreaker palette and also using the Zoeva 231 brush. And basically what I did was just pack that shadow into my crease and just literally make like a semicircle and just keep packing it in. So don't go back and forth as much, just I'd push it into your skin rather than like pulling it so it doesn't go too streaky, and that'll give you the effect and the colour in there as well. I then used the blue from the Me, Myself and Mitchell palette. If you don't have this palette, to be honest, you could just do it with the Jawbreaker one. I just used that blue to make it a little bit darker. You don't necessarily need it, to be honest with you. And then I used the Jeffree Star palette again and the Zoeva 224 brush. Sorry, not 224, 227 brush, and used the next shade up in blue, which is just a little bit lighter. And I did it 50-50, so what you do is you put half of it onto the bit where you've just put your product and half onto the part that's not got any product, and just keep blending it until it all comes together. It can take a while because it is quite a harsh blue that you've put on first, but keep going and it'll come together. And then after that, if you use the Zoeva 224 brush and go back and forth, this will just blend it all together. It's just a smaller brush rather than, you know, the thick one, so it just kind of gets in them corners and things like that. Then I just used again the Zoeva 228 brush and the lightest colour in that, which I think is Brain Freeze, I think it's called, and just went around the edges with it and just back on top of, like, say 50-50 on your last colour that you've just used, and just keep blending. You could be there for a while, like I say, but you just literally got to keep going with it and go back and forth. Once you've done that colour, just do what you've just done but opposite. So your lightest colour, then your second lightest, and then your darkest, just to put that colour back in so that while you've overtaken it, you've not taken it out completely. With that blue though, the darkest blue, try get it up as far as you can so that it's not covering it when you come to cut the crease. The next step that I used was just again a 228 brush, a clean one, Zoeva one, and just going around the edges, just cleaning it. Just like I say, making sure that all the edges are blended. Just make sure there's no product on this at all, and just go back and forth, and just keep doing it. And then eventually it should all blend together. Like I say, take it as high up as you can because we are going to cut the crease. So then I used the plouise base and a flat brush from MAC. This brush is actually discontinued now. I've had it for about 3 years, but they do have another one, so you can get that online. I can't remember what it's called, but if you Google it, you should be able to find it. And then if you just take the crease a bit further up from the cut crease further up from your eyelid so that it's kind of like a semicircle, but again, don't take it all the way around, just halfway across, and just literally keep checking it. And whatever you do, don't look up. If you look up, it's going to transfer to the top and you will struggle to get that back out. If not, you'll have to start again. I've made that mistake so many times. Then you just use the same brush that you used originally, so I think it was the 231. I'll just check that. Yeah, 231 brush, and just that flat brush again, and go back and forth on the edges to blend it all together. It can take a while, but just keep going and you'll be able to get there. By the way, if I do sound out of breath or anything, I am pregnant at the minute, so it's a bit of a struggle to even speak, never mind to do the whole thing. So yeah, just going back in with that first colour that you used and blend it together with the edge of that, and just kind of tap it on top, because this will just prepare you for when you put your pigment on. It'll just stick to it better and you won't have that harsh line. So just keep patting it, just keep going, like I say, just keep going back and forth until you're happy with how it's blended. If it does look messy, don't worry too much, because you are going to put on the pigment, so it will cover it. It's just more for your base, like I say, underneath. Then again, try not to look up, especially for this bit, because you don't want the glitter to transfer on top, whatever you do. So get a small brush. Again, I used the 231 that I used originally, and just pat that pigment onto where it's a bit wetter, what you've just put on. And I used also just a small smudger brush. I don't actually know which one this is, but any will do. Just to get in the edges, because that way you're not like taking it across that line where you cut creases. And just keep patting it in. Be really gentle with it, because sometimes if you go a bit too heavy and you put too much on your brush too quickly, you can't really go back, whereas you can always add more. So just take your time, little and often, little pieces, keep adding them on, and it'll just all come together. Like I say, it takes a bit of time, but it'll get there in the end. Then after that, I just added my lashes, and I also just put feline underneath, and I also just did exactly what I did on top on the bottom, and just literally repeated the whole process and just added my lashes. And then I took Nivea men's, I think it's a moisturiser, but I use it as a primer. Again, I'll tag it all underneath because I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And you just literally put it on. It's the best thing ever as a primer. It's so cheap and it lasts all day. And it's so light on your face as well. Like, it's honestly amazing. It smells lovely as well. So rub all that in. And then I use the Born This Way foundation by NYX in medium olive. And I just got a pack of Real Techniques brushes from Boots. And it's the Everyday Essential pack, and it's got like four brushes and a beauty blender in there. And I just literally take the fluffiest brush that's in there and just rub that all in and bounce it into your skin. And it doesn't look like I'm bouncing it as much now because it's a bit sped up. But if you just keep going, just blend it all in and it'll all come together. Try not to go too close to your eye, because if you do, what'll happen is your foundation is going to cover your under eye makeup, which obviously you don't want, and you don't want it to spread. So just leave that, because we're going to use a smaller brush to go underneath your eye afterwards. So blend it all in, make sure that it all comes together. And the second brush that I use for under the eye is the next one down, which is like a pinky colour. And I use that for the forehead as well as, like I say, under the eye, and just tapped it in and just be really gentle. There is an even smaller brush in there which I use. It's a purple one, and that'll get into your edges as well. And I also went back in with a blue just to blend it in together, just so that the foundation doesn't cover it. Then I use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. I think that's what it's called. Not foundation, sorry. Concealer in the shade Vanilla. And I just put it underneath my eye and drag it all the way across to get that sharp line. And also put it on my forehead, which you'll see in a minute. Then I use the Chai Too Faced concealer, the shade Chai. And put 2 dots on my cheeks, 3 dots on my forehead. And just rub it in all together and mix it all together, and it should just give you that nice contour. I used a beauty blender for the edges, but didn't go too close to where my eye is with the beauty blender. Leave that, because again, what you'll do is you'll go in with your smaller brush, that purple one from the pack, and it'll just tidy them up without making a mess, because I've done that so many times where it just goes absolutely so muddy if you're not careful. So just do like what I've done here and just be really careful with it. Just make sure that you're not being too harsh with it, and don't be too rough, because the longer you take, the better it'll be, if that makes sense. Then I use the Charlotte Tilbury powder. Again, I just use one of the brushes from the pack that I got with Real Techniques. It's just another purple one, and just use really small amount. I think this is the shade number 2, but I'll again put it all below so that you've got a full list. And just put that all the way across the face. Then I use the Huda Beauty translucent powder in Poundcake, I think it was, and just pat that under the eye and let it bake for a little bit. I did cut out my baking part of this, but you just leave it for about 10 minutes, I'd say. Not even 10 minutes actually, probably about five minutes or so. And then just take that smaller brush and brush it off when it's done. Then I use the MAC Give Me Sun and a really small brush. Again, this is a brush I'm not too sure. It's a studio one, which I think is from Superdrug. But any small brush will do, and just be really light when you're doing this. So just try add, like I say, product little and often. Don't pile it all on. Just keep going, otherwise it can look quite streaky and muddy. And then I took the NARS Flesh. It is that one. That's the shade. And just that same brush and just put it all underneath the eye, and that gives you that bright under eye. You can get lighter ones. There's another one called Crystal, which is really good, but I like the Flesh ones. I think it's just the right tone for me. Then I just used a Maybelline mascara just for underneath the eye and on top, just to cover any lashes that I've missed. Then after that I used the MAC brow pencil in Spiked. This is quite a popular one. I think a lot of people use this, to be honest. It's one of the best ones you can get. Then just try do some like hair-like strokes and just keep going and fill in your brow. I just do it so when I concealed underneath the eye, I'll go slightly below the brow. I mean, my brow's a mess on this, to be honest, because obviously we've not been able to get them done with lockdown. But you just cover up if there's any excess hair. Go slightly under where you want your brow to be. And then when you come to do it, you should still have that line there. So just follow. So when you do each stroke, go from that line and just keep going and bring it all in, and it should just come together, and then just drag it across the bottom. The thing is, what I find with this though, the only problem is it doesn't pull as easy. So sometimes when you're doing it, it's quite hard to pull it across. It doesn't go as smooth as it looks. So what I tend to do is just kind of scribble it on the back of your hand first, and it'll just loosens it up a little bit so it's not as hard when you're trying to put it onto your brow. Then I just used a lip liner from Primark. I think it's called Toast off the top of my head. I'm sure it is. And then I used that with a Charlotte Tilbury lip gloss, which is in the colour, let me just have a check, Refresh Rose. And I just didn't even put much on, to be honest. I just put the liner on and kind of brought it up a little bit into my lips. But when you put the gloss in, it brings it all together. So you don't really need a lipstick and you don't need to colour in the rest of your lips. Just kind of leave it a little bit darker on top. So this is the lip gloss that I was just saying, like I say. So when you put that on, it'll just blend it all together and it'll come, just keep going. If you can see the line, take the lip liner that you used originally and just colour it back in over the gloss, and it should just blend it all. And then that was it. I've just added some highlighter on there, which I think I forgot to film. I just used the Doll Beauty one, Like a Diamond, and Shine Bright, mixed them together. Just put that onto my cheekbones and my eyes, underneath my brow, a bit on my nose and my Cupid's bow, and yeah, that was it. And then you just spray your setting spray and it's all done.